This episode brought to you by the Red Ryder BB gun. Let everybody have these guns. Mass shootings would take a really long time.
Hey everyone, we're watching A Christmas Story, and you're listening to Miscast Commentary.
That was good.
He didn't like my original version.
No, it was boring.
But I needed to surprise him. He
Yay.
just doesn't like surprises.
I'm a producer. I produce.
Just let me have my thing.
I am your thing.
You're listening to Miscast Commentary, where two guys have seen way too many movies and have way too much time on their hands.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Now here's your hosts, Joe Findlay and Todd Murray.
Hey everybody, welcome to Miscast Commentary. I'm Joe Findlay.
And I'm special guest host tonight, Carrie Findlay.
Well, she's guest host. And
I am special.
you're very special, which is, I don't know what that says for me. But as always, we wish you the merriest of Christmases. Sorry, Jews. And we have our usual tradition of spending Christmas together, sitting down, ignoring our kids, watching a movie.
Generally what families do, isn't it?
Ignore the kids? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know where they are. They could be somewhere.
They're not making noise. We're good.
I gave the big one a knife. It'll be fine. We're watching A Christmas Story. A lot of home ties, a lot of good old childhood feelings, all those good things. And there's only one way to get this motherfucker going, and that is for us to press play. Press play now. All right, so here we are, an MGM picture. So this is based on a book that Carrie actually just very recently read. It was originally titled In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash. And it's actually just a collection of short stories, which I didn't know until you told me. But it's actually, this part you don't think you know, they were originally written for Playboy.
Actually, I think I was aware of that. I feel like that's something I knew.
Oh, okay. I had no idea, to be honest, and it was just an interesting surprise. Bob Clark, who directed this movie and had a hand in the screenplay, wasn't the main writer, but he had to get this movie made, he had to direct Black Christmas. He's directed a lot of actually famously Canadian movies. So this one was shot in Canada for a big chunk, but Black Christmas was a famously Canadian movie, and then he's got one of the most famous coming-of-age movies of all time. He directed Porky's.
And that is a Canadian movie.
It is a Canadian movie. And then, yeah, so he did Black Christmas to get this movie made, and the voice that you just heard, which was Adult Ralphie, is actually the writer of the book and the movie, who's Gene Shepard.
Yes, I also knew that. However, I've never actually seen Black Christmas. I have no idea what you're talking about when you say that.
It's a good one. It's a horror. They basically told him he had to make a horror movie, and he had this in his mind, so he made a horror movie about Christmas. And it actually stars Andrea Martin and Eugene Levy of SCTV fame.
We should watch that sometime.
Bunch of Canadians. Yeah, it's great. Eugene Levy has a ridiculous mustache, and you can just tell everybody's got pubes for days. You know, I don't think, that's just, I'm saying, like, it's like the genes won't settle down on them because they're being pushed away.
Okay.
So sorry about that. I forget who I'm talking to sometimes. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not Todd.
I don't often care, though. Let's be very clear about that as well. But this is my show. I'm going to talk, and whoever's sitting next to me is going to have to just listen to it. Oh my. So as we said, this is, I believe that the bulk of this scene was shot in Toronto. This was one of the major, 3 areas that they shot the movie. Toronto and Cleveland were the main ones, but the third one, which I drove Carrie crazy with in the early days of our relationship, was indeed our hometown of St. Catharines, Ontario.
It's true. It's just up the street from us.
It is right around the corner. We have the school. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Carrie would say it's fair to say that I am the king of repeating stories.
What? No, you?
And well, we do it all the time on this goddamn show. But the Lee Brown, as you see, the other screenplay writer, Gene Shepard and Lee Brown are actually husband and wife who wrote this together. I love the face pressed against the glass thing. But yeah, anyways, literally every time we drove past that place, I just kept going, "Oh, A Christmas Story was shot there," every single time. So we're looking at Peter Billingsley. He's actually got like a lot of credits in his career, a lot of stuff that nobody's ever heard of and that sort of thing, until all of a sudden he connected with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau, and then all of a sudden he became a producer and stuff like that. He produced Maid, which starred Vaughn and Favreau. He produced Iron Man. He was an executive producer on Iron Man. He was an executive producer on other things that I've written down. Zathura, The Breakup, and he actually directed Couples Retreat, which is a terrible movie. But
all Peter Billingsley.
That's all Peter Billingsley. This guy right here, who looks exactly the same. He was in. You can see him in a lot of these movies too. You see him in Breakup. In The Breakup, he's Jennifer Aniston's sister's husband in that. But he looks, just throw those glasses on him and like nothing's changed. This movie, like, when would you say that this movie took place?
I can't really venture a guess because I know when it was supposed to take place because I literally just finished reading the book.
Okay. Well, as it's set for this movie, it's basically, they narrowed it down to 2 years. It was 1939 or 1940. And I think that it's really more of they got some references wrong and stuff like that because there are things where you can actually see the year 1940 written on them. But then they make a lot of the references they make in the movie are specific to 1939.
Well, after reading the book, this is supposed to be the Depression era, the height of it.
Yeah.
So
well, that was the 20s, the late 20s. But yeah, so I think they aged it up or whatever because it's supposed to be a little bit autobiographical of the guy who wrote the stuff, who was born in 1921. So that would put it around 1930. But this specific movie is because they mentioned The Wizard of Oz, which comes out in 1939. But then you see stuff that says 1940 on it. But then you hear Bing Crosby's, like a Bing Crosby version of a song, which came out in 1943. So it's like, it's kind of all over the place. But they believe that this version of the story takes place in 1939. And everything else is just a mistake.
So just odd little tidbit here with the seeing the house and everything as we see it right now. I actually read recently that they've restored the house in Indiana back to look like exactly like the movie, and they run tours and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you can also rent it. It can sleep up to 6 people.
Yeah.
And it'll only cost you $3,000 a night.
Yeah. Ugh. I wonder if they stock it because every single meal they make, it's always meatloaf, red cabbage, and mashed potatoes. So I wonder if they just stock up so you can have that meal every day that you stay there.
I could totally eat that.
Yeah, I know you could. That's disgusting. So we're looking at Melinda Dillon and Darren McGavin. Melinda Dillon, she was in Slapshot, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. She had an uncredited cameo in The Muppets, or the Muppet movie. She was the mom in Harry and the Hendersons. She was in the 1990 version of Captain America, and she played Steve Rogers' mom, I believe it is.
I didn't even put together that she was in Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, well, because her hair.
Right now, when you say it.
It's because it's a different wig or whatever's going on. And then Darren McGavin, I was in The Man with the Golden Gun, Mike Hammer, Kolchak, The Night Stalker, The Natural, Raw Deal. He was also in the 1990 version of Captain America, playing one of the members of the military. And, of course, he was the dad in Billy Madison.
I don't remember that.
Oh, Billy, my boy. When will you find whatever it is you're looking for? Here's a nice piece of shit. That's right from the movie.
Good for you, honey.
I nailed it. And that's me being inclusive because Adam Sandler is a Jewish.
You didn't include them earlier when you said Happy Holidays.
I excluded
Merry
them
Christmas.
earlier, but then I realized the error of my ways, and Christmas is a time of forgiving people, or not so much, but it can be. And if you don't forgive me, then I'm not going to give you a present, so screw everybody. Carrie just gave me the finger, but she gave it to me low so you wouldn't see. She gets how podcasts work. This is often mentioned as an inspiration for the Wonder Years. How, like, and basically the basic style of the whole thing is the Wonder Years kind of ripped off directly. And funny enough, Will Wheaton auditioned to play Ralphie.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and it kind of throws me off. And again, I don't know if it's because the shooting style makes it look very 50s or whatever. It makes it feel like it's so long ago. But yeah, it's right around that time. He was around like 10, 11 years old. Peter Billingsley's 12 here, and he's supposed to be playing a 9-year-old. These fantasy sequences are like the best part about this movie. It's like, and it's cool to see because like you look at Darren McGavin and he doesn't seem like a guy who would put up with this shit.
Yeah.
Like they would come there and he's like, I'm not putting on a friggin' like the Fess Parker hat kind of thing, right? Like, this kid is so cute, the little brother. He reminds me very much of Reese.
Yes.
Especially like in his younger days when he didn't talk so much. Now he talks too much. Reese, of course, is my awesome son. Not your son. You don't have a son, whoever you are out there. You're nobody. Interesting guy who was up to play the dad. Or not up to play the dad, but he wanted to play the dad. Jack Nicholson got a hold of the script and flat out wanted to be in this movie. Bob Clark, the director, did not know about that, but the studio did. They just didn't want to pay him because this was a $3 million budget for this movie. They would have had to double the budget just to pay him to be in the movie.
That's insane.
And on top of that, everybody believed wholeheartedly that Darren McGavin was the guy for the role, and he is amazing in this movie. So like,
yeah, I couldn't imagine anybody else being in that role.
Yeah. Just moving my cat so I can get comfortable because I'm starting to crush my testicles. You know, like a professional.
You don't have testicles.
I do. I've had a vasectomy, but the testicles are still there. I keep telling you that. Reach down, feel around for a minute.
No.
Oh, there it is. You guys can't see, but she's totally doing it. She's totally. Oh dear. Finger in the butt. She did it. She's looking at me lovingly while she's doing it now too. Okay, she's done. She's done. Don't smell your finger. That's gross.
I have no words for you.
Well, you should have some. This is a very audible medium.
What?
It's all words.
People can't see me right now?
Well, the webcams that I put up and I make money for, yeah, they can see that, but most of those are in the toilet. Oh, hell yeah. I can't really wrap my head around like these types of parents and like there's like just the whole style of living. Like I just saw that laundry. They had the laundry dryer, the press dryer sitting there. I just noticed that and I just like lost my mind for a moment. I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
Darren McGavin, he improv'd all his swearing because obviously they didn't want swearing. So he just like created these like long these long tirades where most of the what he believed like this blurred rail crash flirt thing like that's jerk off trash. That's not good. I like that I'm watching this with closed captions right now. There's things I've never heard in there. See, you're not subservient like this one. This is what I need. I need to be able to stomp around the house like a monster while you don't do anything about it.
No, you do what I say.
Oh, God, it's not worth it.
This scene gets me every time because I remember being a kid getting dressed up in the snowsuit and the gloves and the sweaters and the scarves and everything to go outside and play in the snow. And when he's walking around with his arms kind of out starfish and everything, reminds me of that.
Yeah, what kills me is it's like a weird plush wool. Like, as long as I've been alive, it's always had that kind of like weatherproof, kind of nylon-y, whatever stuff on the outside. And then to see that, I'm like, that thing is just a wick for wet. I'm like, you're basically just putting kids in a pneumonia trap.
Maybe that's why they died from pneumonia so much.
Well, and I think I genuinely believe that it wasn't even like a lack of innovation or education or anything like that. I think it's just like people just had too many kids and they just needed to cull the herd a little bit. It's just like, okay, if like one of these kids doesn't catch rickets soon, I don't even think that's one that kills you, but. So there were, depending on how you look at it, there were actually 2 different sequels to this movie. One sequel is the real sequel, which is called It Runs in the Family, which is these characters, and it takes place during the summer, the following summer. Okay. But it's the same family, but it's been all recast. Charles Grodin plays the dad, Mary Steenburgen plays the mom, and Kieran Culkin is Ralphie.
Okay.
So they've got, which again, I don't know how much later that was, because I mean, like, think Home Alone and think about how young he was in Home Alone. So I think it was probably around, was it?
Oh, Kieran Culkin was in Home Alone. He was the
brother who peed the bed.
Or something. Yeah,
he was the cousin who peed the bed.
Right. Okay, I forgot about that.
So yeah, which they also called that movie My Summer Story to make it like match with A Christmas Story. Okay. But then there was also a TV movie that was just straight up A Christmas Story 2 that starred Daniel Stern as the dad and some kid who looked like a weird caricature of an older Ralphie. Like it was like a few years later type thing.
I vaguely remember us watching that movie.
I don't recall ever seeing it. I've seen the cover for it and it drives it.
No, I felt like you and I watched it.
I don't believe so. I don't recall. I don't remember ever seeing it. I do. It's not impossible, but I don't feel like it happened.
There's the school.
So that is the school. That's Victoria School. That is on Niagara Street in St. Catharines, not 3 minutes from our home.
Depending on traffic.
Depending on traffic. And an unfortunate amount of suicides that we've had in the area lately, I think, because people are sad that this movie doesn't, that our city doesn't get more credit for this movie. I think that's what it is.
The back in the day where, putting in some fake teeth like that was really acting out in school.
This was like, that was considered edgy back then.
Yeah.
How dare you? She seems pretty reasonable though. I feel like most schools of this time, she would have just like literally beaten every one of them.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah. And let's give a little bit of credit. If this takes place in the 30s, there's a couple of black kids in the school. Give it up for them, non-segregated. Yeah. Now, this does take place in Indiana. I don't really know what their rules were like at the time. Oh, the pole.
The flagpole.
Keep your kids off the pole, folks. You get it. So yeah, it's weird to me because all the exteriors were shot at this place. I wonder what it was about this school. Was it just that it was so old, or that maybe like the other areas in Toronto looked too modern around it? Because the nice thing about this school is it's very isolated and everything around it is built old. Like there's old houses behind it and it's all that kind of thing. So, but I just don't, I don't know why they came all the way to St. Catharines just for this, and it's only the exteriors. The interiors were shot on a soundstage.
Well, I think it's probably got a lot to do with the older houses and stuff like that make it look more, because if they found something like that in Toronto that had a lot of more modern around it, it'd be more work to be able to make it look like this. Whereas they could just take the day or two where they came down here, filmed these scenes exteriorly, and they didn't have to put all the extra work into it.
Well, they were welcome here while it was happening. So
you personally welcomed them?
Yeah. I was like that. I was almost a year old. Oh no, because when they shot this, I would have maybe just been born. So the way they did this, there's actually a suction device inside the pole. So that's what's keeping his tongue stuck to the
Oh, okay. I was always curious about that when I was younger, actually, and that actually happened to them, if they actually stuck the poor kid's tongue to the pole.
Well, I had one of two thoughts. I was like, they either coated his tongue in something that got stuck to the pole, or they just didn't give a shit and they stuck stuck his tongue to the pole, which kind of like, it tracks for older movies. But again, it's the mentality that this movie's much older than it actually is.
Yeah.
There is a museum in St. Catharines where that you can actually get, or not get, but you can see several pairs of Ralphie's glasses and some scripts and some other props.
Really? I
And
didn't
stuff
know
like
that.
I also didn't know that until I was doing the research. So I got to find out what museum this is because I kind of want to go and check it out. Oh, this kills me. I remember school antics and all that kind of stuff, and you would have I think the worst one we ever had was a kid who went, we used to like swing and then catch each other's legs on the swing. And this one guy was swinging like a fucker, man. He was just going like so high up, and he caught his legs and the guy went up over the bar of the swings and then just fell and landed on his face. And that, like, it's not like today where it's all that like, that rubber, that smushed rubber everywhere. Yeah. It was just gravel, and he just landed face first in gravel. And that was just like kid antics, man. There was a kid who had like this giant growth on his face who lived in this building when we were kids.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That fire truck, it came up. It said Chippewa fire truck. That I've seen that fire truck.
Oh shit! That's in the parades. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure it was at the Christmas parade this year.
I know. I think you're right, actually. Oh, that's awesome. We invented this. You're welcome, everybody.
Huh?
And those houses right now are worth way too much because the real estate in St. Catharines, because there's not a lot of room for expansion, is going out of this world expensive. We're waiting for the bubble to pop so we can buy a house. We're going to pop that bubble and really destroy somebody's dreams in the process of doing it, who thought they were going to sell their house for $700,000, but instead we get it for $200,000. And then they cry as they leave. And we kick their asses out the door. Now they're homeless. Does always look to me, whatever bandage they put on it, it looks kind of like the teeth that were hanging out of their mouth.
Yeah, it kind of does, eh?
Like, it literally just looks like they just slapped like a rag on his tongue. Oh, who did it? Again, Ralphie has a very Reese thing, too.
It's like the blonde hair and the big blue eyes.
It's that, and then it's also like these little looks of whenever he... whenever he's just like sitting nicely and stuff, I picture like when you tell him to sit still, that's how he does it. And I say you picture that because you never see it.
It's true. He does not sit still.
He's 3. It's fine.
That's why I'm making him start races next year.
That's right. Oh, yay. God, I hate everybody. I gotta stop that from ringing. I'll be right back. Carrie, you start talking about this movie. Tell us a little bit about the book and like the differences between the book and that movie.
Well, one of the big differences that I kind of came across was that the book was actually a group of short stories. It was 5 different essays that Gene Shepard had written. The first one was about getting the Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. The one story was about the bully Grover Dill, and one of the other short stories was about
can't remember.
No, why can't I remember?
Was it the dogs? I think you were saying.
Oh yeah, it was the dogs.
Yeah. See, I listen to you sometimes.
And then there was one other one. Because I remembered reading the book and not realizing that they were written in these small sections and that all of these things put together made the movie. I don't know why I didn't realize that, but that's kind of what I was thinking.
That's where I was.
And what was the second one? There's 5 of them, so there's like 5 parts that make up this movie.
Was it the dinner?
The
restaurant?
No, not the restaurant. The hounds at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Grover Dill, which is right here, this guy here.
Yeah.
There was the Red Ryder BB gun. There was him getting his tongue stuck to the pole.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the other one? I cannot remember for the life of me right now.
So Scott Farkus here. His name is Zach Ward. He's been in Freddy vs. Jason. He was the big brother in Freddy vs. Jason. He was in Transformers. A very small role in that. He was in Resident Evil. American Horror Story Apocalypse. Other things. He was in a movie called Christmas in Vermont that appears to have had Chevy Chase. Oh my God, Chevy Chase did another Christmas movie recently.
Oh, it was the Annie, or Little Orphan Annie. The whole getting the little
the
decoder ring.
Yeah, they
and
changed.
That's what that story was.
Yeah, and they
That's
change a lot of the details because I think I don't remember what it is in this, or is it Little Orphan Annie?
Yeah, it's Little Orphan Annie in this.
It is in this too? Okay. I don't know why. I try very hard to kind of forget these movies from year to year because, like, movies that, especially Christmas movies, because we only watch them this one time a year and all that, it almost feels like it's like an obligation. Like, as much as I like the movies and stuff, it's like an obligation. So I try to kind of like suppress them a little bit so they feel a little fresh every time I watch them. So I often forget little details and little things about that, but it takes like a huge effort to do that.
Yeah. Well, the big thing in Little Orphan, or in the book actually, that was kind of different from this is that you just see him waiting for the ring to come. In the book, it was actually quite an ordeal for him to get the decoder ring in the first place.
Okay.
Because again, we were talking earlier about this being the Depression era. His family wasn't able to afford Ovaltine, and you had to buy Ovaltine in order to get the packing slip thing in order to send it in and get the decoder ring.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the joke and punchline come in later.
Yeah.
Where when he finally gets the decoder ring and it says, "Drink your Ovaltine."
Oh, very good. Okay, that makes sense.
It's just a giant commercial for the one thing that you had to drink in order to get it.
I like that a lot. Here's a very original thought about Ovaltine. The mug is round. The jar's not round. Why don't they call it Roundtine? Come on, it's gold, Carrie. Gold.
I don't know, but I used to drink Ovaltine when I was little.
Aw. It's just a different chocolate. Was it better than the...
It was delicious. It was like a malt chocolate, and I like
malt. You like the malt. See, I don't like the malt stuff. I can't deal. She likes Maltesers and whatever other random things.
I just kind of like most everything.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, him getting the leg lamp.
Yes. And it was a leg lamp in the
It was
book
a leg
too,
lamp
yeah?
in the book too, and it was actually a soda company. It was his father had gone through a number of rounds of crosswords that he completed, and that's where he won his major award from, was completing these crossword puzzles. And the leg lamp was sent to him because that was the logo of the soda.
Very good. So it's almost like he won at HQ, RIP guy who invented HQ, who was doing drugs with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a thing that happened. I'm trying to be topical here.
Hey, he plays with his food too, just like our son.
No, our son does it very differently. Our son rips off little pieces, rolls them into hilariously perfect balls, and then puts them in his mouth. And he rolls them around on his cheek or in his hands, whatever gets it done.
But he also digs out. So picture this piece of toast.
Yeah.
You cut it in half.
Oh, this is.
And then he digs out the soft side, the soft center of the toast, but leaves the toasted outside.
Yeah. If you take those two pieces of toast and put them back together like they were when they were cut, you would never know that it was hollow now.
Yeah, he hollows out food.
It's hilarious. He's a psychopath. I wanted this to like have a little bit of a a Close Encounters thing, where especially because she was in Close Encounters, I would have loved for him to be shaping his things, and then like her just ask like, is that important? Like that
kind of like a little Easter egg.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Christmas egg though, because it's Christmas. It's not Easter. It's a different Jesus holiday.
Okay, I'll go with it.
It's the reason for the season, folks. See, I feel like that's how a mom would act with like 8 kids. And she's like, I
Yeah.
cannot be bothered. Just do. Actually, no, they'd probably just ignore. They wouldn't even be concerned if like kid ate or not. It'd just be like, okay, there's food, there's no food, and whatever. I don't give a shit. Imagine me being disgusted by something.
Imagine.
It could never happen. Could not happen. We were
No.
talking about that at work the other day, actually. We were talking about things offending people and stuff like that. I'm like, it would take a lot. I was like, and it would have to be done to me or my family personally for me to be like offended. More my family. I don't really care if anybody does anything to me because I hate myself. But oh, it's here. The milk.
The major prize.
Yeah, the milk all looked. I don't know if it was just the color correction on the film or if it was just the lighting of the room. It had this weird like pinkish hue. Could have been those like rose glasses though. You know, like that. It's got that little rose tinge in it.
Yeah, my nan used to have glasses like that.
Yeah, I like it because it takes every drink you ever drink and makes it look like a disgusting version of that drink.
Fragile.
Oh God, yeah.
I love it.
I remember there's a website called Retro Festive, and that was like the first place you'd be able to just buy these leg lamps and stuff like that. And they had all these little like movie prop kind of things. Like they had the Wally World eggnog glasses from A Christmas Story, not A Christmas Story, from Christmas Vacation and stuff like that.
Yep.
And like that place was like so cool, but I don't know. Now it's just like you can get that shit anywhere pretty much. It's like,
Yeah,
it's the
I've
internet.
seen it in a lot of places.
Imagine getting like, I can't even imagine getting a crate like that anymore. Like, I feel like you could order the most fragile thing and it would still just come in a shitty cardboard box that got thrown on your porch by an uncaring UPS worker.
Only to be stolen by somebody walking by.
Oh, I know. By the way, go check out that video of the NASA engineer who made the glitter bomb for people who stole packages and stuff like that.
It was pretty great.
I'll post a video for it. It's great. Oh, Carrie's taking off layers of clothes. I'm not going to tell you how many, but it's all of them.
That's because you've got the door closed. It's hot in here.
Because there's there's people who are shitty to their dogs out there, and then there's loud cars. This is what we have to do. I like that. I never noticed there's a little bit of bottom butt on that.
You have noticed that before. You've made that comment to me before, honey.
Nice. Well,
The little things that he tries really hard to just
again,
not
one of the things I
remember.
try to not remember. Now it's fresh for the spank bank. Bottom butt.
Oh, I forgot they were eating supper when this happened. Like, why is the kid's face so messy?
Oh my God. What a beautiful monstrosity. See, this is the one thing I love about my wife, though. If I bought that lamp, she'd be pretty cool with it.
I would be, because it's a reference to this movie.
We do have a leg lamp ornament on our tree, though.
We do.
Our entire tree, for the most part, is... I hate when I correct myself like that. Our entire tree, for the most part, which takes entire right off the map, but it's a lot of movie references and stuff like that. Lots of Star Wars on there. Lots of... we didn't get the Christmas Vacation card, did we?
No.
No, I didn't. I never remember one.
No, but a lot of Disney and different movies and
Shoe betcha.
and wine for myself.
And why? Yeah. She has a lot of those great lady wine puns. Except she's not into rosé, so she's not she wouldn't be accepted into the real lady wine club.
I like wine.
I know you like wine in general, but you're not
We
a
live
rosé
in wine
girl.
country.
We do live in wine country. We
Drink wine.
Well, no. I don't want to. You can't make me. There's another big trope of Christmas movies. There are too many things plugged into one plug.
Yeah.
And it's true of our Christmas podcast, because I have a bunch of things plugged right over there. So our house might burn down while we do this, but that's fine. Wouldn't be the first time the fire alarm went off during one of these podcast recordings. You were asleep during that, though.
Yeah.
We left you to die.
Well, I know you would have woken me if it was an emergency.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great. You were fine, though. Kids didn't make it, though.
Kids are fine. They're in bed sleeping.
Oh, still? God, it's been months. Look at that thing. I don't know what I expected of it. Like when you see it, I think the last thing I would expect would be for it to like glow all the way through.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect the whole leg to actually glow.
Yeah. So that guy right there, Swede, that is Bob Clark, the director of this movie.
Oh, okay.
So, again, just something you cannot call somebody now, unless his actual name was Swede, but I have a feeling he was just Swedish, and that's just what they called him. But it's weird that he's also got a southern accent. This whole thing's all fucked up. Oh, and it must be nice, though, for Gene Shepard, though, to be able to know. He's been able to see this all the way through because he wrote the book, he wrote the movie, and then he got to be the voice of Ralphie because essentially he is Ralphie.
Yeah, that's a pretty special.
Yeah. That's like when Antoine Fisher wrote Antoine Fisher. It's kind of exactly the same, but it's not at all the same.
Yeah.
This is another thing. Like, I never really put this together. I've never maybe considered what year this was. Maybe I just didn't care or whatever. But I guess all the clues were there as they're listening to radio shows and they're doing all this kind of, like, it was probably pretty easy to work out. But like something like the gaudiness of that leg lamp feels very 60s to me.
Yeah, I could see that. It definitely feels very 60s.
But the clothes are very much not 60s. But then, like, some of them, like his aren't. Like, the poofy whatevers. But, like, some of the coats, like, I could see being, like, 50s and stuff like that. I don't know. See, this is a very Reese thing. It's just the stare and the... It's like that happy puppy kind of thing. Like, huh? So there he is. Peter Billingsley, you are my son.
Why did the teacher all of a sudden start dressing like that woman from Little House on the Prairie?
Well, she's very much a school marm. I don't know. I picture this to be like a Scarlett O'Hara, almost like he just wanted to dramatize it, I guess. Oh, my foot's going to sleep because of the way I'm sitting. That's problematic.
I can't think of the woman's name. I'm just trying to remember now.
Who is it that you're thinking? Who are you thinking of?
From Little House on the Prairie.
I don't know. Ingalls? Laura Ingalls?
No,
that's the girl.
None of the Ingalls.
Rick Ingalls. Savannah Ingalls. Blanket Ingalls. God, we really fucked up on names. We got really bad at it.
I believe it was Catherine McGregor.
That sounds right to me. Speaking
of her.
Oh, okay. That does look a lot like her. You're not wrong.
That's what I was picturing when I see her. She looked very much like that actress.
Can I point out that the article that she found this picture on is Catherine McGregor dies?
Well, because she died recently.
I know, it's just funny to me.
Like literally just a few weeks ago.
You're like, there she is. Look at it. Looks just like her. She's dead now. 93.
Yeah, November 14th. So a month ago.
Lived to a ripe old age.
She did. Harriet Olsen is who she played.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's Mary Xmas back there. They spelled it wrong.
Well, Kitty's hitting the table with her tail.
Yeah. I'm very blown away by the amount of black children in this school now that I know that that's a thing. It's his dumb stares really make this movie. I couldn't picture if this was anyone else, like a Will Wheaton or something like that.
Yeah, well, this was like perfectly cast. I don't see how they could have taken anybody else for any of these parts.
Yeah. Sped up. It's a very nice house. You can actually find this house if you go on IMDb, and the address is there, and you can actually look it up on Google Earth.
Yeah.
And just go to like Street View or Google Maps Street View, and you can see the houses. It's all like built up and done and that sort of thing.
I love that he's absolutely incensed that she shut the light off.
Especially, well, and I love that too, is like that's like you would think he would be definitely the guy who's like, no, you can't waste electricity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's like my grandfather. I can remember days where I'd be having the fridge open and he used to get mad at me because I had the fridge door open. He's like, we're not trying to cool down the whole house. Close that fridge.
That's such an old man thing.
It is.
Whereas me, I'm always trying to cool down the whole house. Yeah.
Nah, you don't want that one.
I really, really, really am glad that I don't have real trees.
I am too. And I actually, today being like 6 days before Christmas.
No, it's Christmas Day. Live in the magic with me.
I saw people actually buying their tree today.
It blows my mind. It's like, I know they don't want it to dry out or any of those things. They don't want to have to like take care of it in any way, shape, or form. But I'm so bothered by the people. Like, if you care that little about decorating for Christmas, don't bother decorating.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm gonna get this thing up, and then on the 26th it's coming down, and I'm gonna throw this thing in the garbage. I'm like, we chopped down a tree so you could have it in your living room for like 6 days. Congratulations, you're an idiot. But we decorated early November.
Yeah, we decorated on your sister's birthday, so it was November 8th.
Yeah, it was considered too early by some people, but we said, hey, fuck it.
We like Christmas.
We like Christmas, and if I'm gonna do something like this, I have to do it so it's got to be up for a while. It can't just be something like, otherwise it's just a job.
Yeah, you don't get time to just sit back and enjoy it.
That's right. We put the lights on, and we have one of those like wireless little plunger things that turns on the light, so it's like a 30 rock tree lighting every day. Or as my son does, it just turns it on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off.
Multiple times every morning.
Yeah. And then you're like, you're fucking ruining Christmas. Ugh. Everything just seems so much more difficult then. It's like, first you have to take this piece of the car off, and then you have to find a Spaniard because only they know the secret code to take off the tire.
No treads on those tires, eh?
Oh, they didn't have treads back in the day. They weren't interested in safety.
Yeah.
You notice they also don't have seatbelts.
Yeah.
Ralph Nader did that, so let's all thank Ralph Nader for putting seatbelts in your cars.
Thank you, Ralph Nader.
Yeah. And then whoever did it in the future where their car turns into like a giant foam mess in Demolition Man. See, this is one thing I like about him, because usually dads like this are really shitty dads. Like, they're disinterested in their kids, and they're just like, leave me alone, just let the mom do it. Now, there's still a chunk of that, but like this little moment that he has with his dad right here is just like, oh, you want to do this with me? That's awesome. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, and then he has like the little moments later where like he gets, he's going to get in trouble, but the dad kind of protects him. But in other movies, he would be the one who like beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. And here it comes.
It's weird to me because, like, they made him slow-mo it, but, like, he said it in slow-mo, and it just sounds so weird. I love this moment. That's what I thought. Oh, boom. He's gonna murder him. Oh, he's gonna get so murdered. That's Reese's face when he's in trouble, too. He stuck his seatbelt under his arm again today, and that was the face he made when I gave him shit. It was an accident, and we weren't moving yet, but it was... those old cars, man. They weighed 4 million pounds. How did you get around? Like, we have minivans now to like carry around all the shit we need for a day, and it's like that guy. The only storage they have in that is to fit an extra tire.
Yeah, well, they didn't have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, it was the Depression, I guess. They didn't really deserve stuff.
They have their clothes, maybe a book.
Yeah, ugh, books.
Like they don't travel like
Blu-rays are smaller.
Oh, that soap.
Yeah.
Have you ever had your mouth washed out with soap?
No, my mother loved me. And I wasn't an
had my
asshole.
mouth washed out with salt.
See, you were an asshole though.
I wasn't an asshole.
Clearly you were, because otherwise you have cruel people in your life who are torturing you with soap for no reason.
Tasted terrible.
Yeah, it's soap.
Tasted like that stupid gum that you can still buy. Thrills.
What?
Thrills.
Oh, the gum. Yeah.
The gum.
Yeah, that stuff is. At
It's
first
so
I thought you
gross.
said Dove, and I'm like, Dove's a fine product.
Yes,
this
we
episode brought
used
to you by
it.
Dove. But... Uh-oh.
And then ratting out your friend. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is the worst. Hey, just a little reminder. This is, again, now this goes way back, because usually we'll show somebody a landline and go, hey, people who listen to this show, you might not know what that is. They can't even conceive of what that phone is, because it's a rotary dial phone. I feel like I feel like if you can hear her over the phone, you should have been able to hear her say fuck, like whispering it into the phone. Reminds me of Wolowitz's mom from Big Bang Theory. Beats him on the phone. God, parenting was awesome back then. Yes.
We can have a nice little moment of silence in the middle of that.
Yeah, I was just stretching my back, and I was trying to look for the next piece of trivia. But yeah, so the movie costs about $3 million to make. I mentioned that before. It's made $20 million overall domestic, and it's like in a couple of re-releases and stuff like that too.
That's it, eh?
It was, well, it's not a huge, and I also remember the time, like that was good, because it was only in theaters for about like 4 or 5 weeks.
Okay.
And it was, so yeah, it was number 3 first week, behind Amityville 3D and The Big Chill.
Okay.
It moved up to number 1 the next week, ahead of Terms of Endearment, and that was Terms of Endearment's first week, so it beat like a new movie that was big. Then the next week, it was number 2, and Terms of Endearment moved up to number 1. That was something that used to happen back then.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen anymore. People, but you were talking about this the other day, where like about movies coming out years in advance. You know that a movie's coming out like over a year before it actually comes out.
Sometimes 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and people actually wait for it and count down for it and that kind of thing, and they plan their lives around being able to go to see it. Whereas, back then it was there's a trailer for a new movie that's coming out. Let's go see that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of movies nowadays where it's like, oh, I heard it was good. Well, we'll go see it next week then. But
yeah, everything's so instantaneous and just so far in advance.
Yeah.
Now.
But yeah, it's last week. It was in 6th place overall. And that week, Sudden Impact, Scarface, and Christine all came out.
Wow.
So like that was that was a big week. So and then after that, it was just like, and this was all. It was like from the 2nd week of November to the 1st week of December it was out. So it wasn't even out over Christmas. They pulled it. Part of that, but it was still making money. So I was like, that's another thing, is they will ride a movie out in the theaters now until it's like basically until like every theater is empty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, more than once we've gone to a movie and we've been best. Like one of a dozen people in the entire theater.
I have on one occasion been the only, like, of a group of 4 of us, we were the only 4 people in the theater, and that was to the Rodney Dangerfield movie Meet Wally Sparks, and we sat in opposite corners of the theater and yelled, like the way you would talk during a movie. We all, like this, for example, we all just sat in opposite corners of the theater and just yelled to each other because we weren't disturbing anybody. We wouldn't have done that otherwise.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Gifts for the teacher. I just got a gift for Abby's teacher. It's quite non-sexual in nature.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Just saying.
Also for the daycare lady.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, kitty.
Oh, kitty rubbing on you?
No, I can hear her meowing.
Oh. What is she in Abby's room?
I don't know.
That doesn't matter. that wink, see? His gift is very sexual in nature. He's like, hey, baby, enjoy your banana. Like, I feel like, again, just because this time is so, like, old-fashioned and stuff, I feel like she would have, like, contacted the parents. I think your son's retarded. What is it with this? It's like Indiana is made mostly of slats. Like, it looks like Fortnite. Like, people, like, just building in Fortnite and stuff like that. Ovaltine.
Yeah. So yeah, it's saying that he actually drank all the Ovaltine and stuff. In the book, he had found it. Somebody had thrown out a can of Ovaltine and didn't take the piece out of it to turn in. That's how he would manage to get it.
Oh, that works. I can totally see why they skipped that, because that's a lot. That's a lot of story to have to tell for almost no payoff. It's just I got the thing I was waiting for. That's the story. I remember when I was a kid, because like they've always had these kind of like save up your points and get this thing, and we had the Pepsi reward points back in the day. I don't know if anybody remembers. That was the one where the commercial said, "Oh, if you get you get like 1,000,000 points, you can get a jet." And then somebody like saved up 1,000,000 points, like they got with a bunch of different people and put together 1,000,000 points, and then they ended up having to, like, there was a lawsuit and all this kind of stuff. But we actually got a lot of stuff from that. And I remember we got beach towels and T-shirts and hats, and there's a duffel bag that's actually still in our possession to this day. There was like this canvas duffel bag with like this zipper that was made of like kryptonite. It's so crazy. But there was like so much stuff like that, and like now it's all done in like reward points and cards and stuff like that. I think for the most part it's all free experiences, like we did the scene points and things like that for our movie theater. Like, did you ever save up any points for rewards back in the day when you were a kid?
Not really. The only thing as a kid that we ever did was I remember I think it was like Humpty Dumpty chips or something like that, had these pieces that you had to collect inside the bags. And if you got all 4 pieces to make the puzzle or whatever, you could win a prize. And we won a Nintendo system.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And my mom, I do remember
the exact contest you're talking about, though.
Yeah. We took it to my mom and we're like, we won a Nintendo system. And she was very skeptical about it. She's like, yeah, they've got all kinds of things with this. And you don't always actually get but we actually did receive the Nintendo system. I remember that.
That's awesome. I knew people who won off of that. But we've known a lot of people who won a lot of things. Like my aunt won $16,000 on a lottery thing. We had a friend who, with the Tim Hortons roll up the rim to win, won a boat. But the funny thing was he didn't own a car. But he had a boat.
My friend Cheryl, her mom won $50,000 on a scratch. Like one of the Scrabble scratches or whatever it is.
Oh, I'd spend all that on drugs. It'd be great.
No, it was great. They paid off their mortgage and everything.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, see that thing hanging behind Ralphie there?
No, I didn't see it. I'll have to wait till the shot comes back.
Right there?
Yes.
That's how you used to flush the toilet.
Oh, yeah, because the tank was up top. I don't know why. Like what a weird design flaw. Like, why... Like, somebody... Like, it took decades for somebody to go, oh, let's just put it all as one piece. Like, that seems so much more reasonable. Yes. Do you know how gross and hot it would be to have like long johns on, like inside all day, wearing 2 layers of pants?
But
like the fact that I'm wearing any clothes is a miracle right now.
Houses weren't insulated as well back in the day, neither the windows and stuff.
They were too. They were stuffed with like Indians and stuff like that. I don't know. They were very racist back then.
Yeah, it's the cup that they're using because he just poured the white milk.
Yeah. Yeah, but it makes everything, like, when you put the water in and stuff, it makes it look like it's, like, gross pipe water that's coming out.
Yeah.
I like the game of swearing and non-swearing. You shopping, Shipton, flabbing. Uh-oh. This is one of those movies where, like, a lot seems to happen. And it's not a long movie, and it's like I already feel like this movie's so much further along than it even should be.
Oh my God. No, not the leg lamp.
I feel like this is something that, like, this would be a beat your wife situation that would be totally okay in this era. It's like, it's like, it's like, oh, I haven't seen your wife lately. It's like, yeah, she got out of line, had to put her in line. We're waiting for her to heal up. I'm just saying, there's a lot of reasons that I'm willing to beat you, baby.
Jealous.
I do like I love the way that he plays this scene. It's almost Gollum. And oh, hey, it's my precious.
My major reward.
What?
My major reward.
Oh, yes.
I guess it was a major prize.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't a reward. He won something. He didn't earn something.
Used up all the glue on purpose.
I love... Everybody has their moment of just real unreasonable. Like when you blow up like this and you're just being so unreasonable. And at the time it feels so good. It's like you even know you're being unreasonable. It's like, yeah, but I'm winning.
Yeah.
It's like I have the high ground, even though it was like that one time when I ordered a hamburger with ketchup only, and they gave me a cheeseburger with no ketchup and everything else. And I brought it back to the place, and I went to I went back and I told them about the mistake, and they're like, okay, we'll correct it. And they were being so nice and so reasonable. They gave it to me, and I went to give back the other hamburger, and they're like, oh, you can keep that. And I literally just slammed it down, and I'm like, no, because if I eat it, I'll die.
That was definitely you being unreasonable.
And I knew it, but I was like, it feels so good. And I was like, because I wasn't like, I was never being rude to the person. Like, you guys screwed up your, it's like, this stuff happens. I'm like, I ordered this and I got this. And then they fixed it. But then just in that moment, I'm just like, I have to say something. I just have to be angry, and I have to.
Yeah. Just comes hanging out of nowhere.
I would love for them to make like a newer version of this, like with the same cast. You can get away with it where they're all the parents now and stuff like that. But I want Jack Black to play that kid bully.
The little one?
Yeah, the little one. You can get the guy who's the Zach Ward to play the Scut again. But I want Jack Black to just be like, come on, yeah.
Why would you just go over there to him like that?
I know. I know people are afraid of bullies and stuff like that, but that's stupid. If you come over here so I can hear you. No. This does remind me actually a lot of Little House on the Prairie. Like the school, like the classroom itself just looks so old.
Yeah.
And like the style of a lot of the kids' hair and clothes. This girl has to go through a lot of wardrobe given the size of her actual role in this movie.
Yeah.
It's actually quite small, but she's been seen in more clothing than anybody else.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
It's not a lot of, yeah, they'd say, oh, good God. She looks like Roseanne there in that Wicked Witch thing, actually.
Yeah, she really does.
And that reminds me because, like, because Roseanne did it was like one of the Halloween episodes or whatever, and she's just a dead ringer for her. Why would they make them answer in unison? That seems stupid. This is the indoctrination system at play. Like this feels like current day Detroit. There's just scrap metal on the streets and
burnt out cars and
and again, I get it's Depression era, but like, why is it like post-war? Why is this house made of like dead wood? Oh, it's in the house. Look at that Orange Crush sign. I'm very I notice things like that now very much because I've been watching a lot of like American Pickers and stuff like that. I watch a lot of nonsense nowadays.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Ice Road Truckers and all these different things. This is my favorite. Again, it's such a little Reese face.
It is a Reese face.
I cannot watch this shit as a dad anymore. It's like everything's different.
I feel that way about horror movies. I can't do those anymore because since becoming a parent, because it hits so much harder to home.
See, I don't really understand that because most of it doesn't really tie to being a parent at all.
No, but you imagine your child in those situations and stuff, and it's a lot of times it's young adults and stuff like that, and it just.
Yeah, but by then they can take care of themselves. It's like if I'm sorry, but it's out of my control if somebody murders Abby in her sleep, in her dreams, when she's 18 years old. There's not much whole lot I can do about that. I wanted to redo this scene too, where there's triangle chokes and stuff, but I like it because he goes berserker in this moment.
Yeah.
So Peter Billingsley said in the DVD commentary for this little tirade that he's about to go on was actually scripted sound for sound. The rest of so he had to memorize all that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's.
Somebody just said hang him.
Oh, I never caught that before.
Fang Dong's stinking bitch. That's you should see in most movies and stuff, you would see blood spraying up when he brought his hand back because he's just sticking his hand in the juice that used to be his face.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. See, this is again an era. I feel like this is the kind of era the dad would be so proud. Oh, you took down the bully. Good for you. Nobody even gave a shit when that kid came in with a black eye from recess that he didn't have before. Nobody even asked him what happened.
Yeah.
They were really more upset with him that he was late. See, again, this is more he is a legit sociopath. His loving weird stares at his teacher, and then he beat a kid to death, and then what has become of me? Nice. They did his hair absolutely perfectly too. It makes him so vulnerable and weak to have that that part in the nicely combed hair. It's the worst place to put your phone in a house. I think it's because they have that alcove. There's probably a little seat there so they can sit and have a nice conversation.
Yeah, I never even thought of that actually. The fact that the phone was upstairs like that.
It's not in the kitchen.
It's not in the kitchen. That's generally where it was near the kitchen.
Yeah. Because that's where the wife is supposed to be. Right?
What was that?
So that's where the wife is supposed to be. So why would you make her run all the way upstairs? Unless you were trying to keep her figure. I get it.
Yeah. You want to be murdered in your sleep tonight? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm fine with it. It's good. I've lived a good life. Put in some jammies or something, kid. How much time passed? Because it's dark outside now.
Well,
and
the sun goes down fast.
Yeah, it was 8 minutes. It's dark. Look at these old ass ovens. I don't even know what the hell it does. I don't know. There's
well,
the
you
two
see,
ovens.
honey, you light a fire, which creates heat, and the heat is what cooks the food.
I'm a better cook than you are, so don't even. You're good, but it's taken a long time.
I'm an excellent cook.
You're very good. I enjoy all your food, and you make the best French bread ever. It's awesome.
I try.
You do. Well, then you'll be excellent once you don't try and it comes out like that. You just add the love at the end, whatever that means. I don't know. I don't think that from a health and safety thing, you're allowed to add love to your food.
The kid's just hiding under the sink.
I get it. And again, it's that kind of I just don't want to be bothered with you, so I'm just going to allow this to happen.
With all the chemicals.
Yeah. Yeah. Drink this milk. Don't mistake it for the rat poison that it's sitting next to. Those dogs.
Those dogs.
I feel like they should have been seen as excuse me. They should have been seen by Ralphie as these terrifying hounds of hell, but really they were just playful dogs that were just all up in everybody's face.
Yeah.
Get out of there. That was his little time in the closet. Because he's definitely the gay kid of the two.
I love that that child that's, going to school, so it's gotta be about 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Still wearing a bib to dinner.
Everybody should wear a bib to dinner. It's good. Respect your clothes. Good job. She's protecting. I feel like the dad would be the one who's on board with this one. See, Ralphie had a fire.
Yeah, but Ralphie was worried about his dad knowing that he was swearing and everything he had said.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't even the one who punished him when he said fuck, so I don't see why he would.
No, but he's the one who got mad at him and sent him into the car and said to the mother, "You know what your son said out there." It was very much.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it was gonna be that bad, but I remember actually the last fight I was ever in, and it wasn't much of a fight or anything like that. I remember that the teachers who found out about it, I got in no trouble. Basically, like the vice principal took us aside and like, what happened, and we were like this, and then they were like, oh, great, go, because like literally we were about to get on a bus and go on a school trip, and then we got on, and then they were like, why were you like getting on the bus? And I told them, they're like, oh, did you win? Like, that happened. That was when I was in grade 8, so it was 93, 94.
Yeah, it would have been around then.
So, yeah. I know you were already graduating for college around then. More fingers.
I was starting high school. I'm not that much older than you.
I don't know. It just feels like you are. I was like, I have to help you up more than you have to help me up, and I feel like it's an age thing.
Yeah, you do have to help me up.
But I like it. Shop for gifts at Higbee's. That's like the most, like the laziest thing I've ever seen. Like the laziest slogan or whatever. So there's your Dorothy and Flying Monkeys. How on earth are they allowed to have a Mickey Mouse here? Like, I feel like even in the early 80s, they were pretty rough. And look at, they were shitting on him too. Who shits on Mickey?
Well, because they were the Flying Monkeys and they're bad guys.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I feel like that was like personal. Like they brought this to Disney at one point and they turned it down.
Well, you see Snow White in the background too.
I know. The circus. That has a very like Tim Burton Dumbo look to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing actually that come out this year, the live action Dumbo.
I'm telling you, I was really upset at first by like when they're like, oh, we're making live action versions of all these Disney movies. I'm like, why would they do that? But like every single one of them has been pretty good.
Yeah, I really want to see the Lion King one.
And then they were just talking today about Aladdin and like because people were concerned that the genie wouldn't be blue. And he's like, the genie will be blue, and I'm just kind of like, it seems to be the least of my worries.
Yeah, genie's color just seems weird to.
It's just like it's just irrelevant to me. Like it's not. I don't know. People get hung up about the weirdest shit though. Like it's the same thing. Like it's the whole like the Idris Elba can't be Bond because he's black thing. Like I have little bits of things, and I am guilty of not wanting Daniel Craig to be James Bond because he was blonde, but I've since gotten over that. I've grown up and matured since then.
Daniel Craig as Bond was hot.
Yeah.
Especially in the white jeans.
Oh.
Very, very hot.
Yeah, when I wear white jeans and then spill chocolate all over the butt, you don't want anything to do with me.
I'm sorry, honey, you're not Daniel Craig.
One day we'll have sex. It'll be great. That's right there. That is Gene Shepard and Lee. What's her face?
Lee Brown.
Lee Brown. Yeah, that was them. So you can hear like he changed his voice a little bit there, so he didn't sound exactly the same. But that is them.
I have never picked up on his voice sounding the same. So actually, he did a very good job.
Yeah. Well, it's because there's also the I'm yelling in a crowd versus I'm in a studio and calmly. This is another kid too. Like the kids in this movie are psychopaths. All of them are. I just think that this is what happens when you don't have Like, there's more helicopter parenting being done now, and this is what happens when you didn't have more constant supervision on children. I actually don't remember all of these Wizard of Oz references during the movie and stuff like that.
I know when you were saying that they referenced Wizard of Oz earlier, I was thinking, I'm like, how, when, what? Now I'm seeing it all.
Now they're like, yeah, and it's constant.
Yeah.
I can't. It actually reminds me a lot of somebody who I won't name, but the
Yeah, okay.
Carrie gets it. That, like, to me, that should be Bill Hader in a remake today. That's Santa. It'd just be like Bill Hader being a shitty dude, and Joe Latrulio as the elf. They did hire like the most evil elves.
I think that was the point, honey.
No, I know, but it's just like I was actually gonna say, actually, that elf reminds me a lot of dude from Clockwork Orange. Like, he very much has that kind of like demeanor of what's his face, Malcolm McDowell. I like, though, when they do that in these movies, though, is where like they tell you the story based on the kid's perspective. So it's like, it looks all crazy scary and stuff like that, but it was probably like in real life nothing like that. Why were there so many adults in line for this Santa? Like, all the other kids have been like put in by themselves, but then there's just like an adult who doesn't appear to be with a kid.
They were the early helicopter parents.
Oh, okay. I just thought these were just like the moms. There's a lot of sped up film in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I remember some scenes, but like that one was just unnecessarily, like, you can see like right there, it's sped up.
Yeah. I think it's just going for the fact that they were trying to get the kids fat through really fast, and that was the feeling of it.
I guess, like,
come
there
on,
too.
kid. Like she's rushing him.
Yeah, I know, it's just weird. I don't know. It's the differences you see when you start, like, because we watch this all the time and whatever, but then you actually have to watch this with some kind of a discerning eye. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
That's why he ends up asking for a football.
Yeah. Hey, kid. That guy's out of like a trauma movie. Like, he seems like one of the like shitty dudes from like Toxic Avenger or something like that, who like would drive around in the car just to run over children. Like, I feel like he's somebody, but I looked up on IMDb today and he didn't come up as anybody. Come on. Santa, you don't make up what people get. You ask them. My son decided to tell Santa that he wants something that's not available in Canada, so I have to make a trip.
Yeah, so don't tell them you're going over there tomorrow, because that kind of came up in the car the other day.
Yeah, you mentioned that. We do what we do our best to keep the magic alive in this household. So, that is a very like long. See, look at Santa cares about him too. I do like that. I don't know why all these kids aren't like way into these slides. Like, none of them seem to be happy about it. Like, the whole point of a slide is like, even if you were upset at the top of it, you're happy by the bottom.
Slides are fun.
That's, yeah. Except my slide. I have a slide at work, and that's a cool thing to say. And it's 3 stories tall, and it's like all curvy twisty, but it generates so much static electricity if you're wearing jeans that like I could probably like electrocute you from across the room. and also it's very long at the bottom, so you don't dump out. Like, you don't like come flying out of the end. So what happens is, if you're not wearing friggin' like spandex, or you're just coated in lube, you stop. And then you have to like shimmy your ass out. And it's really depressing. It would be like watching the most depressing birth and like breech birth in the world. It's just like
They bought the tree a really long time ago. Why are they only just lighting it now and decorating it now?
That's a great question. I think you just discovered that this movie's shit now. You just wrecked it.
I like that
It's cold outside in it. What?
I like that he licks the light bulb. Or sticking it into a socket.
That was a thing.
That's why that happened.
Yes. Don't anybody. He plays every line like just a champion. They didn't have breakers back then? I don't know. See, this is how little I know about things like this. God, the lights are huge on that tree. They're like the size of fists.
Well, that's what they had.
It was not straight, though. He was right. What do you think that the younger brother grew up to be in real life? Like if you had like a thing at the during the credits saying like Ralphie grew up to be like a senator, and like what do you think that little brother does for a living now?
He's in jail, like their brother Tommy from Back to the Future.
Oh yeah. He was destined for prison. He was trying to like pull a con on somebody and got caught and beat a man to death. My wife's Googling something. Is it good information?
No.
It's just texting with her man.
No, I was Googling something. I just couldn't find it.
But it's there. It's on Google.
Sailboats.
It's on Google. I find that as I watch these movies, it feels like even though the movies don't feel like they take a long time, it feels like it takes longer and longer to get to Christmas. And maybe that
feels the same way as we get older.
I agree.
I feel like it's taken forever to get to Christmas.
Yeah, but then again, we did like decorate like 2 weeks earlier than normal this year. And so there's a woman at school, like one of the moms, and all she does is she's like, "Oh, why isn't it snowing? Why isn't it snowing?" And I just said out loud to her, I'm like, "Why? Do you want me to die?" Because she knows I'm a commuter and all that stuff. And she's like, "I wish it was snowing." I'm like, "So I could die."
You're a little overly dramatic, honey.
I know, but I just, stop asking for snow. It's awful. I was like, we want, one of the other moms and I agreed that it's just enough snow to cover the grass. Nothing on the concrete.
I would go with that. Oh, Kitty just tried to bite my toe because I was petting her with my foot.
Well, there you go. That's why you don't pet cats. You don't show them any attention or love. Try not to feed them, and then everything will be okay.
Buffy, it's okay. My foot is not a vampire.
Yeah, this cat, Buffy, is, we just recently celebrated our 7th year of having her. We rescued her in early December of
2011.
There it is. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I wasn't doing
Our daughter
math
is 7 years old, who was born in 2011,
I know,
honey.
I know, but it's just...
We're the opposite of this family. You and I are the ones sitting up waiting for the children. And I think last year we actually woke Reese, did we not?
Yeah, we did. I am the worst at Christmas. There's something built into my system where it doesn't matter how late I go to bed. I can go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and still somehow wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's true.
And I'm up so long, so I find some nonsense to put on. Like I'll put on one of the fireplaces, like Christmas music things, or lately I've been putting on the Nick Offerman drinking whiskey by a fireplace and just staring at you type thing. And I don't know, I feel it feels very existential to me, and I don't know, it somehow calms me. Nice. I actually like those socks.
They were nice socks.
Nice. See, this is how that was the beginning of that kid's like descent into jail. That baseball bat is what he used to beat the guy to death.
It's true. Oh, look, she got a fly swatter.
Oh, I didn't notice.
You see, look, she's got it. It's not coming up on the screen right now.
Oh, that is god awful. This is again one of those. This is a very iconic moment in this movie, and it's not like, and it's never one that my brain goes to immediately. What's kind of funny is though we have a lot of very similar things for our kids in their jammies. Like Abby has like panda jammies and her troll jammies that are all the full onesie size.
Yeah.
I like just the image that nobody sees as Carrie was leaning back, and then she just leaned all the way forward to go, yeah, and then lean all the way back.
My back is killing me.
I know this was not a good idea. I was trying to create.
I don't know why it was. You thought it would be.
I was trying to create a more comfortable version. Mine is better because I have this. I thought you'd be able to pull that out more, which you could, but
I tried to pull it this way and it started turning the mic that way.
Okay, well, yeah, we could have. That would have been easy to fix, but that's okay. It's too late now, so now you have to deal with it. Oh, that was mean because that reaction had to have been real.
Jeez, I wonder what it is.
I don't know. It looks like a giant candy the way it's lazily ripped in tissue paper, wrapped. Yeah, I bet he's had blue balls for a while. I keep seeing commercials and things that show people who like make like designer bowling balls and stuff like that, and it always makes me want them, but then I just like, why? I bowl once every 2 years. And I have no intention to do it more.
Not even.
Yeah.
It's like once every we've been bowling 3 times since we've been together.
The girls I date I go bowling with because I know you won't go there.
We've been together like 14 years. That's once every 5 years, honey.
So goddamn long.
the slow walk down the stairs.
Oh, so good. I think we saw an ornament of this. What, this year, last year?
Last year, yeah.
Why did they just give it to like him and not the other kid? Like he should have also had a god awful thing. So he's a good dad. Oh, thank God. We're pretty lucky. We don't get a lot of monstrosity clothing like that from people.
No, we've got some good family.
We've had some pretty like crappy like knitted sweaters for babies and stuff like that would only look good in this era. But like that was about it. Like they were really nicely made. They were just not like they don't look very modern on a child.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it. What an ungrateful little shit. It's the depression. Be happy you got anything. It's like, congratulations, I just took a pile of dirt and stuck it in a cup. Oh. What the what?
Parents are drinking wine at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, I get it.
So does that mean I can drink wine?
I'm not going to stop you. The family services might. He couldn't see that. See, I love this. He makes me happy here. Something I like to do. I always like to buy a couple things that you don't know about for the kids for this similar magic. Except it's very rarely a gun.
Yeah, no guns for our children. Have you seen our son?
Oh man, he would murder everything. We have these Nerf guns that fire actually quite hard. So we can't let them shoot each other with the Nerf things because they hurt each other. So we have a world map and they just shoot the world map constantly. Actually saw a lot of those Red Ryder BB guns this weekend as we went to take the kids to get their picture with Santa.
It's true.
And they have the Daisy rifle ones too but they had them done up in pink so you can give a gun to your little girl.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that actually reminds me of Abby. Our daughter got this little bead art thing. And I was trying to help her load it, and I was just constantly spilling everything all over the place. I was making such a mess. Carrie just fell asleep. Oh, now she's up. Did you just fade away?
It's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside.
I'm gonna rape you. That was the song. That's according to the people. Carrie got very mad at me because I made this point years ago before people went crazy about it. My only thing was I didn't think it should be banned because I knew that wasn't the intent. Carrie's not talking to me now. Cool. Podcasts are great when one person's not talking to the other. Okay.
What's he shooting at?
It's a metal sign with the target on it. Oh, these are the Red Ryder guns are also Daisy rifles. Oh, I love that it turned out basically that everybody was right. What are those made of?
What?
Like the jammies again, like they look like the same material that like it looks like every piece of clothing made of the same material.
Well, they kind of were back then.
Ugh, just like god awful wool. It's like this was the real depression. The real depression was just being itchy from the wool constantly. Again, it seems very early for the turkey to be already done.
Yeah.
Like he's still in his pajamas and like I feel like this is like 10 o'clock in the morning and supper's finished.
Turkey. Oh no.
How bad is his vision that he couldn't even see the shape of or the color of sunglasses on white snow?
Like there's an alarm going off outside.
Why don't I hear it? Oh, there it is. It's because I've got my headphones on. There you go. The icicle's the perfect crime for everything.
It's true.
So you can do that you can do that if you accidentally shoot your eye out. You could do that when you want to murder somebody and make the murder weapon go away.
Why is she only tying the turkey now that it's cooked?
Maybe she stuck something alive inside it to like bring out the flavor. I don't know. I don't know the rules of 1930s cooking. It's like the only thing. The original turducken was a turkey with a suffocated possum inside.
Yeah.
I love I tried to get out of the way. The elaborate story of the child. And then I was doing this, but I wasn't doing that. I always felt like that was the way I was going to go. Just walking and then an icicle fall on the top of my head like a horror movie.
There's still time, honey.
Oh, thank God. You get warm. Why? How does it have an hour to cook? How is it? That's not how turkey works. You don't brown it in the oven then leave it out to rest. It's like one of the early fourth wall breakers.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, breaking the fourth wall when you're looking into the camera or you're addressing the audience or something like that. Because they're in a room with four walls, but one wall is removed so we can see what they're doing. So that is the fourth wall. And when they look through it at us, we've broken the fourth wall.
Oh.
There we go. Look at the side. Look at how much like space is afforded that comic strip.
Well, comics were... He's reading the actual comic section. It's...
I know, but even I remember we had a comic section in our paper when I was a kid, but like it was still like an entire comic would be like the width of the page, but not like it wouldn't take up half of an entire thing, even though like it's about the same amount of tiles and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm having a really weird back in my day kind of things right now. She's got like shoulder pads in her robe.
Yeah, that's very 80s.
Which makes no sense because it's the 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Oh. Is that pickles?
Yeah, she had gone downstairs to get pickles, and then she came up from downstairs and caught him trying to cut into the turkey, and that's when he ran out of the room.
They just had a moment of, like a Bubba moment where they did the shrimp thing. He just went through all the different turkey dishes. I know that not everybody celebrates Halloween. I was gonna say Christmas and stuff like that, so it's fine for them to be open. But I always feel like the mere idea of like making somebody work for me on I almost said Halloween again, on Christmas just bums me out.
Did you
It's
notice
so
that?
racist. What?
The sign it was bowling, like the game of bowling.
Yeah.
But the W was not lit.
Oh.
And on the door, the name of this restaurant is Bo Ling.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know.
I notice signs more now.
Yeah. Carrie works in print now, so she. Oh, it's so goddamn racist. I can't believe they get away with this kind of thing. Stop. See, and this predates World War II, so they're not hating on these guys right now. Oh, this is China, though, but I guess they wouldn't really know the difference. So the mom did not know this was going to happen. This is in everybody else, like the kids and the dad there. They all had this piece of information in the script, but she didn't when they put this duck down in front of her. She did not know it was going to have a head on it.
That's funny.
So because they wanted
her
her
actual reaction.
yeah, they wanted to like get a genuine reaction out of her, and so that's why she's doing that, and they're not. See, like this is lemons into lemonade, eh?
Yeah.
This is kind of how I felt after our camping trip when we were eating breakfast at that place because our tent had flooded.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Christmas this year.
Me too.
It's going to be very...
I always thought that was the last scene of the movie.
I actually was thinking the same thing when it did that little like circle wipe down. I thought the credits were going to come up and I'm like, what is this scene? This is like an after the credit sequence that sets it up with the Avengers. That's not beautiful. It's dangerous. Snow is only here to murder us, people. There was actually a pretty good SNL sketch this week. It was like called Best Christmas Ever or whatever. With it was a pre-taped thing with Matt Damon and Cecily Strong. And it was them at the end of the day, and they're like, "Oh man, it was so cute. I think we were more excited than the kids." And it shows the kids storm in and like start jumping on them at 5 a.m, going, "Mom, Dad, it's time! Santa's here!" And they're like all like scrambling to get up, and then it's them like fighting with their family at like the dinner, and it was just one thing after the other. But it's just them having the nice cheery memory of the whole thing.
I can see Abby being up earlier this year.
Oh yeah, the kids get up way early now, but they're still not going to beat me.
No, they're not going to beat you, but I could see Abby beating me this year.
Which is a true nightmare for me because I'm coming off of night shifts this time.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I'm going to have no sleep. It's all right though. I survive on no sleep if I have to. Really is a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
We took Abby to see this, I want to say 2 years ago at the theater. Like they did a re-showing of it at the theater, and we took her to see it, and it was neat. It was my first time ever seeing it on the big screen.
Yeah, mine too.
I guess it's not one that really needs to be seen on the big screen, but it was neat to see still.
Yeah, but we noticed some different little things when we watched it on the big screen.
That is true, actually.
I don't remember what they are now, but we did notice some things.
Yeah. I like this because it's a very small movie. Like, think about movies we see today and how long the credits are. I can already tell that these credits are almost done. Oh my god, a hairstylist is James Brown. Ha! Go kill myself. Oh, got nothing on that. People at home are laughing, though. They're enjoying themselves. Well, we wish you guys the merriest of Christmases. We thank you again for a fantastic year of episodes. We hope you've enjoyed all that. Make sure to visit us at miscastcommentary.com. Email us podcast@miscastcommentary.com. Find us on Twitter @miscastpodcast. Join our Facebook page for now. I'm kind of deciding whether or not I want to continue with Facebook because of the further crap that they've been exposed on this week. But for now, that Facebook group still exists. Find us on Instagram @miscastcommentary. I'm @JK Findlay. Todd's @miscasttodd. Go follow him if you feel so inclined. Carrie's not on Twitter, but I will send you pictures of her if you send me for $50. And not nudes, it's fine. And that is it for the year. We wish you the merriest of Christmas. Babe, thank you again for joining me for our Christmas tradition.
No problem, babe.
All right, we will see you not next week, we'll see you Friday with another mini episode, our last episode of the year, and our last mini episode for a long time, because we're going to be getting into the Marvel mega marathon after that. So make sure to tune in and listen, and we will see you then. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas all.
This has been Miscast Commentary with your hosts, Joe Findlay and Todd Murray. Executive producer, Joe Findlay. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Visit www.miscastcommentary.com for all news related to the podcast. Miscast Commentary is a Miscast Media production.